Okay, kiddos, let's play a little game. This game is to try to get to know you and to get to try to know the people around you, maybe the people in your family. Okay, I'm gonna ask a question. What is your favorite color, Natalie?
Red.
Red. What's your favorite color?
Yellow.
Yellow. Okay, and mine is green. Okay, do you have a pet, and if so, what's their name?
Yes, I have a cat and his name's Jack.
Jack. Okay. I don't have any pets. We have koi fish, but they're not really my pets.
I have a cat named Hunter.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Who is in your family?
Miss Gabby.
Your mama. There you go.
And my dad and my brother.
There you go. I have just my husband and I in my house now. I have 5 kids, but they're no longer with me in my house.
I used to live with my parents a long time ago, but now I have my own family. I have Natalie, and I have my husband and my 2 kids.
There you go. Okay. And do you have a really good friend?
Yes, my best friend, her name is Marianne.
Okay. What about you, Miss Kathy?
My husband is my best friend.
There you go. My husband's my best friend, too. I also have a girlfriend. Her name is Pastor Julie. There you go. Okay. What color are your eyes?
Blue.
Hazel, sometimes greenish. Do you even know what color your eyes are? You can think of other questions, too. Find out a little bit more about the people in your family. In our story today, we want to find out about somebody else. Let's find out who that's going to be. All right, kids, have you been going over your memory verse for this month? Yes, we have the same memory verse for the whole month. That's so that you guys can learn the whole thing by the end of the month. Are you ready? Here we go. Then Jesus said to his disciples, "If any of you wants to be my follower, you must give up your own ways, take up your cross, and follow me. If you try to hang on to your life, you will lose it. But if you give up your life for my sake, you will save it. And what does it benefit you if you gain the whole world but lose your soul? Is there anything worth more than your soul?" Matthew 16:24-26. All right, kids. Today, does anybody know what this is? That's right, it's a globe. It shows the whole world. What's happening in the world today? Do any of you know? There's a lot of sickness all over the world today, isn't there? There's also a lot of good things that have happened in the world, though. And there's lots of places we know different things about. Let's see. Where do you live? I bet most of you live in California, huh? Where the sun shines? I like the sunshine. Well, what about when you think of, maybe Australia? Can you think of what happens there? Or what kind of animals do you see in Australia? Koala bears, kangaroos? Fun, right? Well, I want to show you a place. It's very tiny. Let's see, it's right over here. Right in there. There's a little country, and it's called Israel. Israel is where the whole first good news started. There was great news. Who knows what the great news is? That Jesus is alive. Jesus is alive. He's not dead. He's alive. And he wants to be your friend forever and ever and ever. And he loves you so much. Now, do you know how the first church started? I'll tell you. I'm just going to move this over here. There we go. All right. The first church started by Jesus' disciples. They wanted to tell everybody about Jesus. But how could they do that with just his disciples, with just like 12 men? How can you do that? Well, they each started going from town to town. This town, that town, this town. And it started like that. They would tell somebody about Jesus, just like this chain over here. See the 12 men, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 people. If they went to different towns, even if they went 2 by 2, if they tell this person about Jesus, then they can tell somebody else, and they can tell somebody else, and before you know it, wow, you've got a lot of people who are knowing about Jesus, right? Isn't that great? Now, wait a minute. Are you big enough to tell somebody about Jesus? I don't know. Yes, you are. You know it. Who can tell people about Jesus? Say, I can tell people about Jesus. Who can tell people about Jesus? Let me hear you. I can tell people about Jesus. That's right. And these Christians, they started sharing everything they had. They shared their food. Tell me, what's your favorite food? Do you have a favorite food? I do too. I like prime rib. Yeah. And they shared their clothes. Maybe they grew out of clothes. They would share it to somebody else. Maybe they shared experiences, stories they had. They told people mostly about Jesus and how Jesus loves them so, so much. Yes, the disciples told people the good news about Jesus, and you can do that too. We call this the first church. The first church, when the disciples went out and told people about Jesus, and then they started telling people about Jesus, and they shared everything they had. And it started in Antioch, the first church. But what is the first church? The first church is the people who love Jesus. Do you love Jesus? I love Jesus. And what are you going to do? Tell your friends and neighbors, and even your enemies if you have any, about Jesus. Because Jesus is the good news about Jesus. That he's alive and that he wants to be your friend forever.
So today in our story we learned about the early church and how they went out and they told everybody about Jesus. So our craft today, you're going to need a paper plate, and what you can do is you can trace your own hand on cardstock and you can cut it out and then make a cross shape because that represents Jesus on the cross, right? And that's the message that they're telling everyone about. All right, so what you're going to need is you're going to need your glue. Well, first of all, I guess you could color your plate any color you want. Since my favorite color is yellow, I'm going to start with that color. Okay, and then I'll probably do orange. What does that remind you of? Yellow and orange and red. Is that kind of like a sunset? There. Now I'm going to glue my hand down. Something like that. And then I'm going to add the cross, the message that the disciples were telling the whole world about. Remember, one person told one person, and that person told another person until the message got all over. And we're going to put our memory verse on there so we don't forget the word. There you go.